All right, we're at Exponential 2011. We're with two planners with the Launch Strong Network. We have Christian and Danielle. And Christian, why don't you tell us about how you ended up in Lee Summit?
Well, after 11 years of ministry in Overland Park, Kansas, God called Danielle and I to plant a church, and after looking the entire nation, we realized there was a large area of young families that were unchurched across the state line in Lee Summit, Missouri.
Okay.
So we, after praying about it, knew God was calling us to do it, put our house up for sale, sold it in 3 weeks,
oh, wow.
Moved across the state line, put our kids in a new school, and started a new life.
Well, let's talk about that new life. Were you on staff at a church?
I was on staff at a church for 11 years.
And now you're not on staff at a church anymore.
Right, came off staff December 31, so we've been on our own.
On your own, you raised the support?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about raising support. You were on staff for 11 years. How did you do that? How did you transition from being on full-time staff to being a missionary?
It's difficult. You know, we knew 2 years ago God was calling us to start a church. And we began the process of stopping spending money. Paid off all our debt. Got a little reserve in savings. Brought our lifestyle down drastically and got ourselves to a place where we could live on as little as possible. But when we actually resigned from our church and let them know 90 days we were going to leave, we didn't have a bank account set up. I mean, we didn't have a dollar in the bank, and knew that we had 90 days to at least raise 1 month to go get a job. And we began to talk to family, began to talk to friends, and really just gave them the vision. We didn't ask for money, we gave them the vision, and then said, let us know if you can help.
Please help.
Because we didn't want people supporting us as much as supporting the vision that God had given us. So just, you know, one family at a time, anyone and everyone we'd ever met that wasn't currently at our church, tithing members at our church, we went to them, gave them the vision, and, you know, one by one they started to help from $25 a month to larger.
And that's great, because you didn't go and snipe any existing members of your church. You're leaving there in good standing, which is very important. A lot of church planners make the mistake of not doing that correctly, and it always comes back to bias. But let's talk about this lifestyle shift, Danielle. That had to be pretty dramatic.
Yeah, it was.
As a mom, how do you do that?
Dramatic. I was worried about my kids. You know, I didn't know how upbringing. They're a little older. They're 9 and 7. We had to send them to new school in the middle of the year. But I think the most important thing is that this was something that Christian and I had really prayed about and really sought the Lord for like a while about it. And so it was something that we made sure we could both be like 100% committed as a team. So I think that's really important. Christian did a great job through the last several years of kind of telling me what God was doing in his heart and in his life, and I could identify that, and I trusted him. But he didn't start without me. He made sure that I was a part of that team. And so, it's, you know, there's been some tough moments. So I would say it's really important for planners' wives to find some godly women that they respect and that they look up to. So when they have those tough moments, they have somebody they can go to who's more spiritual than them, more further along than them in certain processes, and that's really helped me. And so far, it's honestly been great for our family. We've loved it. We've grown a lot as a family.
And let's talk about your pre-launch right now. You've had 2 pre-launch services.
We've been having Bible studies for the last 10 weeks. We'll have our first pre-launch service this Sunday night.
But your pre-launch is doing okay.
It's doing okay.
You have like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah, we've had, in our 10 Bible studies, we've had 160 people come through. We've got about 100 signed up to be on our launch team, and of those 100, 75 that have committed to serve and to give.
Good.
So yeah, we've got a good core going for our preview services and our launch this fall.
I think this is great. You have a guy that's been in the ministry for 11 years, and he understands the importance of talking about giving. And you don't wait until 6 months or 12 months. You start when you're looking for the full buy-in. Hey, we need you to fund this ministry. We need you to fund this vision. Come join us, but join us as well. That's great. All right, let's talk a little bit now about the Launch Strong Network. Specifically, let's talk about Mac Lake and what kind of an awesome guy he is. Kind of share with the planners that are looking to get involved in a network or with coaching, what that journey's looked like for you.
Well, I would say for every planner out there, first off, you need a network and a coach. And I don't know of a better coach and network than Mac and Cindy Lake, Brian and Amy Beloy, and Launch Strong, because their primary focus is on the health of the leader and the family. And they've watched enough planners plan a church while unplanning their family that they knew they wanted to focus on the leader's health, the leader's marriage, the leader's family, and then give them the nuts and bolts of planning a church as well. So what it's meant for my wife Danielle, you know, she has as many sessions as I do because they focus on her.
They do.
As much as they do me. And Mac is, you know, I tell people Mac has become like my new spiritual father. I mean, I talk to him every week. I'm texting him, I'm calling him. And he's become a great sage in my life. Every idea I get, I run through him. A lot of them are good, a lot of them are really bad. But I have him to help me understand that. And he always looks at it through the lens of how's this going to impact your family, how's it going to impact your marriage, how's it going to impact your kids. You know, go slow building a church so you can have fun and you can enjoy it and you don't lose your family in the process.
That margin. You have time to do that. Speaking of good ideas, you have a couple. You guys have a couple ideas. Let's talk about your first 3 sermon series you're going to be rolling out with. So you have 1, 2, and 3. I'm familiar with them, but go ahead and share what those are.
Well, we've identified the needs of the unchurched and the de-churched in our community. They want to have good marriages, they want to raise great kids, they want to have some type of purpose in life, and they want to have inner peace. So we took those 4 together, and we're starting off with a series that we're just calling The Good Life. Basing it on John 10:10, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I've come that we have life and have it to the full. And it's, you know, if you really want to have a good marriage, raise good kids, have inner peace, have a purpose, you're going to find that through God. So we're advertising our first month is we're going to help you get what you desire. We're going to talk to you about the good life. Our second message, because we want people to know that we're building people, not necessarily a church. We understand you have to do both, but we're not just trying to have more services, another church, another building. Is we're doing a series teaching through the book of James, but the title of it is Less Church, More Christianity. Because we want people to understand the Reveal study that Willow Creek has done said that church activity does not equal spiritual growth. So we want to talk to them about their personal Christian life and how, you know, we're building a church for them, not for us. And that, you know, if they had less church and more Christianity in their life, the world would be impacted more. And we're going to do a marketing strategy along with that we're just calling Less Church. And we've got a website, lesschurch.com, and we want people to at least be curious. Here's a new church who wants to do less church. What is this all about? To pull them in, to help them understand what's more important than going to church. Spiritual wisdom, praying, living for God. A lot of people that go for church that don't have any of those things. So we're going to talk to them about real Christianity. And then our Christmas series is a series called Why I Believe in Santa Claus. And basically we're going to trace briefly the real life history of St. Nicholas, who he was, what he did, and talk about his Christian conviction to help the widows and the orphans that really birthed what we know as Santa Claus. He was a real person with a real heart to help real people, and this is what Christmas really is. So let's not throw Santa aside. I mean, Jesus is number one, but bringing Santa can help us remember to do what Jesus does. Love those people who don't have anything. So,
and you know, you're hearing a lot about that being in the city, you know, or for the city.
For the city.
Not against the city. You know, a lot of churches are like anti-Christmas, anti-Santa Claus, Christmas. You don't have to be there. You know, it's the whole concept of contextualization, using their words to tell God's story. So I love this, and again, these are 3 great ideas, and we're looking forward to those. And listen, if you guys want to watch Christian and Danielle and see their journey, you can follow them at thejourneychurchinternational.com. Is that right? That's the URL. And then you can also follow Christian on his blog at
ChristianNewsome.com.
ChristianNewsome.com. And then if you want to connect pastors' wives and planners' wives, if you want to connect with Danielle, I know they should love to share with you as well. You can reach her.
blog.daniellenewsome.com.
blog.daniellenewsome.com. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.